Welcome to K-Zone. Today, we will share about why there is no Palestinian National Military Force. Let's start. The absence of a Palestinian military is a complex issue rooted in the historical, political, and social dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This essay aims to explore the various reasons behind the lack of a conventional military force in Palestine, from the Oslo Accords to the broader geopolitical context of the Middle East. While some may argue that a Palestinian military is necessary for self-defense and statehood, others contend that it would only perpetuate conflict. To understand this situation, we must examine the multifaceted factors that have contributed to the absence of a Palestinian military. Historical context. The absence of a Palestinian military can be traced back to the events surrounding the creation of the State of Israel in 1948. The Arab-Israeli conflict led to a series of wars, and the Palestinian territories came under Israeli control. The displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians resulted in a refugee crisis and the formation of a distinct Palestinian identity. In 1964, the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, was established with the aim of representing Palestinian interests and regaining lost territory. However, the PLO, despite its armed factions, never evolved into a fully fledged military. It's important to note that during this period, some Palestinian groups did engage in armed resistance, but they were not organized into a unified military force. Geopolitical factors. The presence of several regional and international actors has had a significant impact on the absence of a Palestinian military. The Arab states, particularly those surrounding Israel, have historically played a role in shaping Palestinian policy. The Arab-Israeli Wars and the Camp David Accords between Egypt and Israel in 1978 further complicated the situation for Palestinians. The Arab states, by signing peace agreements or maintaining a ceasefire, shifted their focus away from military confrontation. Furthermore, the United States and the Soviet Union, during the Cold War era, played a crucial role in supporting their respective allies in the Middle East. This geopolitical competition added a layer of complexity to the Palestinian issue, with superpowers exerting influence over the region and complicating the prospects of a Palestinian military. The Oslo Accords. One of the pivotal moments in the Palestinian quest for statehood was the Oslo Accords of 1993. These accords, negotiated between Israel and the PLO under the mediation of the United States, established a framework for Palestinian self-governance in parts of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. However, the Oslo Accords did not provide for the establishment of a Palestinian military force. Instead, the Accords outlined security arrangements that placed security control primarily in the hands of Israel. The Oslo process created the Palestinian Authority, PA, led by Yasser Arafat and later Mahmoud Abbas, which was responsible for civil administration and limited security cooperation with Israel. This arrangement, often criticized by Palestinians, effectively prevented the development of a Palestinian military, as security remained under Israeli control. Israel's security concerns. From an Israeli perspective, the absence of a Palestinian military is viewed as a crucial element in maintaining its own security. The history of violence and conflict between Israelis and Palestinians has led to deep-seated security concerns. The Israeli government, often citing the need to protect its citizens, has been apprehensive about the prospect of a Palestinian military. The fear is that a Palestinian military might pose a direct threat to Israel's existence, leading to preemptive military action and further escalation. The Oslo Accords, which stipulated that security control would remain in Israeli hands in key areas, were designed to address these concerns. Israel has also justified its control of security based on the lack of a partner willing to negotiate and commit to peaceful coexistence. International agreements and diplomacy. The international community, including the United Nations, has played a role in preventing the emergence of a Palestinian military. The UN has consistently called for a peaceful resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the establishment of a Palestinian state through negotiations. This diplomatic approach has discouraged the development of a Palestinian military as it focuses on peaceful means to achieve statehood. Additionally, the international consensus has been against the unilateral declaration of a Palestinian state with military capabilities, emphasizing the need for a negotiated settlement. These diplomatic efforts aim to avoid further conflict and promote a two-state solution. Internal Palestinian divisions. Internal divisions among Palestinians have also hindered the creation of a unified military force. The Palestinian territories are politically divided between the West Bank, governed by the Fatah-dominated Palestinian Authority, and the Gaza Strip, controlled by the Islamist group Hamas. These divisions have resulted in a lack of centralized authority and coordination. Hamas, for instance, maintains its own military wing, the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam Brigades, which operates independently in Gaza. The existence of multiple, often competing, armed groups within the Palestinian territories has made it difficult to establish a cohesive and unified military. International aid and dependence. The Palestinian territories have been heavily dependent on international aid for both humanitarian assistance and development projects. International donors have invested substantial resources in the West Bank and Gaza to support Palestinian institutions and infrastructure. This aid, however, comes with conditions that often discourage the development of a Palestinian military. Donors, including the European Union and the United States, have been clear in their opposition to the use of aid for military purposes. Consequently, the Palestinian leadership has been incentivized to prioritize the development of civilian institutions rather than a military force. The absence of a Palestinian military has also led to a shift in tactics. In recent years, nonviolent forms of resistance, such as protests, boycotts, and international diplomacy, have gained prominence within the Palestinian struggle. Figures like Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. have inspired Palestinians to use peaceful means to draw international attention to their cause. Nonviolent resistance has garnered sympathy and support from the international community, leading to increased diplomatic efforts on behalf of the Palestinians. This approach has highlighted the potential power of peaceful struggle and provided an alternative to military confrontation. The future of a Palestinian military. The question of whether there will ever be a Palestinian military remains highly contentious. While some Palestinians argue that the absence of a military force leaves them vulnerable to Israeli occupation and aggression, others emphasize the importance of diplomacy and nonviolence in achieving their aspirations for statehood and self-determination. Any potential establishment of a Palestinian military would depend on a variety of factors, including the resolution of internal divisions, shifts in regional and international dynamics, and changes in Israeli policy. The eventual creation of a Palestinian military would require a comprehensive peace agreement that addresses the security concerns of both Israelis and Palestinians. Conclusion. The absence of a Palestinian military is a complex issue deeply intertwined with the historical, political, and social dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. While many Palestinians desire the establishment of a military force for self-defense and statehood, numerous factors, including geopolitical realities, international diplomacy, and internal divisions, have contributed to the current situation. The path to a Palestinian military is fraught with challenges, and the resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains uncertain. Ultimately, the future of a Palestinian military will be shaped by the evolving dynamics of the region and the choices made by the Palestinian leadership and the international community in pursuit of a peaceful and just resolution to the conflict. Thanks for watching. Don't forget like, share and subscribe.